We have to steer this technology not just to the productive universe, but also in the way we can steer a better humanity interest beside private or partisan interest. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you also to invite me again and again. Of course, I guess it's really not random if my speech get after the IP office. And I have heard many times the last couple of days that we speak about necessity for changes. Changes the way we're taking decision or changes the way we're governing. And beyond politics, artificial intelligence can be, a good candidate. That's my belief for the next couple of centuries. And let's try before we start, because of course, speaking about artificial intelligence can lead to also fears and greater traits. But let's try to start by imagining a world where climate change is no longer an issue. Can you do that with me? Can you imagine a world where wars and pandemics and famine are just relics from the past? Do you want that world with me? Think about a world where we, humanity, are released from wasting our time to fight each other, to fight against the climate, to fight against our own civilization, and focus more on our purpose. What was our purpose since hundreds and thousands of years? It was to survive and thrive. Thrive as a civilization, thrive on Earth, and maybe we can think about it in the next centuries, thrive beyond Earth. So I want to think with you during this session in how such complex situation today can be also handled by us and more than us. Of course, it isn't a fantasy. I think it's more a vision I want to share with you about a future powered by revolutionary ideas and technology. But also, as any coin, I have two sides. These tails have a good side and have a less good side. So we have to consider it. But if it sounds a bit like a utopia today, I think it's because so many times our current system failed on us. I think I'm a bit too old today to come and say you failed on us. It's really not the topic today. But I think for so many time we have moved with same old good solution to solve same good old problems. And we know that today we have many solutions. We have history, we have resources. But think about it. This system that is driving our world has been designed what? 100, 200, 300 years from now? So how could it be different that from a growing complexity in this world, we have more and more information, more and more data point, more and more, the world complexity have exploded on the last decade. And how could we think that the same good old machine could solve today's problem? Will you freeze your food with ice block again today? No, you'll probably buy a new fridge, and I'll do the same. So we might consider that the system today have to also evolve. And it's time, of course, to revoke the status quo, foster new ideas and protect them, of course, and re-enchant our institution. And those institutions, they have to meet the modern world. They have to be data-driven. They have to understand also the complexity not only not only by frameworks, but also by other infinite way, and innovation I think is a good. And yeah, my proposition right now is we just go and explore this together. Because this is the dawn of a new industrial revolution. And I think I'll better use the exponential technology explosion period we will live. For those who read Liu Qingjing, the Three Bodies Problem writer, this is a conceptual time where a civilization will take not one step forward, but 1,000 steps forward. And of course, IP will have a lot to do in the next decade, for sure. And if we're taking a look at this amazing journey, I mean, it's not happened like that. It's just because if millions of years we need to invent languages, it took only thousands of centuries to start to process our languages. And only a couple of decades to unveil machine learning, help the machine start to learn by itself. And just a couple of years to break out Gibberlink's AI communication protocol, if you heard about it, or even more recently, self-generated microchip blueprint. What does that sound? Could you believe a world where yesterday the people start to use ChatGPT? Today the people start to feed AI agent to make stuff for them. And tomorrow the AI agents start to work together. And if I'm telling you that today the artificial intelligence are not only trying to reproduce what is the languages, they start to create their own languages to accelerate, you know, the pace and the way they're communicating one to another. You can really think like the pace is accelerating at a speed that, you know, we never saw that before. And I think you should maybe in the future be another 1,000 people and good people at the EU IPO in the near future. But think about it. It's not a matter. It's not a question about does the AI will become autonomous. It's rather when we'll reach the point of what many people or searcher scientists are saying artificial super intelligence. This point, I think, it's a point where there won't be anymore a company or an organization that explain the machine what she have to say or what she have to think. It's really not the time for that. And I think it's more the time to build the ethical frames, because it's the particular time, and we need to start right now to start to learn how man and machine can work together. I told you this is a two-sided coin. If we are making it, and if we succeed more globally to decide what a machine can do or what a machine can do in the near future, I think we're opening a world where the machine, think about this machine like, you know, the best learning things that never exist. We have designed this to self-learn, and basically when you're starting to use them, they are teaching you how to use them. So you see, we can learn so much from them, or I think I don't want to fall in a dystopic narrative that mostly Netflix and the major company in Hollywood project you, like the Terminator machine come and will exterminate the humanity. I think it's much more than that. It's much more sensitive, and it's a key for the future of civilization, better civilization. But would you like to vote for a robot tomorrow? In 2016, when Clinton and Trump was fighting each other, IBM was presenting the Watson supercalculator as a possible president for the United States. First, it was like, hey, this is a joke. And it was exactly where I was in Berlin 25th anniversary conference, presenting this joke. But 10 years after, it's starting to not become such a joke. Because can you imagine a non-partisan system that's free from bias and corruption, that is capable to process vast and complex data sets and can work 24 hours, 7 days per week? In such a system, you have a consistent and tireless system, but you have also a long-term focus system. This long-term focus system, is not more rely on the next election. Is not more rely on, the 4 to 5 years planning outlook, but he's more rely on the next 15 years outlook, or maybe even the 100 years outlook. What makes the China so strong today? It's a system that think 10 years in the future, while our democratic Western democracy are thinking, 4 years in the future for the next election, and it's far enough. And you can't solve the climate issue thinking 4 years outlooks. You need 15, 100 years outlook. And that's exactly where I think, not in a year, but maybe in 5 or in 10 years, this system will take more and more space into our governmental organization, global organization, and even private company or governance and decision. Why? Because when you're released from who is funding this candidate, does this candidate have already a mandate, and does this candidate is really thinking about what's going to happen in the next 15 years? So you'll start to have system that can, release us from a part of this responsibility and maybe give better hypothesis on the future. But why it matter here? I mean, we're not at the Amazon conference, we're not on an AI conference, and to be honest, I was I surprised myself thinking, okay, 10 years ago, I was already speaking at the ICD conference about robotics. And 10 years after, I'm back speaking about the AI revolution. And if it's a matter of those assembly, you people, it's because now we have to steer this technology not just to the productive universe, but also in the way we can steer a better humanity interest beside private or partisan interest. And of course, you have to think that the system can be manipulated. If today most of the AI are steered by private or political interest, you can think like how we can have a system in which we trust. And it's true, if we don't build clear frameworks and global collaboration on, what are the model, what is the definition of true we are implementing in those artificial intelligence. Of course, on one side, we will have the countries that not develop AI. I'm taking in consideration also France as a country that it's not developing AI solution, because as you say, most of the AI talent from France are now the property of the US economics. But all other countries that have not the capacity to engage that huge amount of resources developing the model, they will be left apart. They won't have a place for discussion or decision. And even in worst case, think about, technological autocracy, where the companies that are designing this model, they're taking the power or they are implementing their own definition of truth to every application, every decision. So it can be very, it can be very dystopic also. That's the other side on the coin. And that's why it's not a matter of startup, it's not a matter of innovation, it's a matter of the worldwide governance deciding, how we can make those models from Eastern to Western work together, and how we can bring an extra layer of, a global governance decision-making upon this. Because, if you were asking a Chinese model or if you're asking a US model, you won't have the same very answers. And I think that's still our role. I mean, the AI won't replace the human. But the people that are using the AI, they will quickly replace the people that are not using it. So think about it. We are almost, I don't want to know who in this room is already using ChatGPT, because I think that there might be more hands than yourselves. But that's a reality. We'll need to embrace these changes and to feel it like an opportunity. It's an opportunity to size. We need to size. Our humanity needs to size to face all the global challenges facing us. And I promise you that it's just unstoppable. Nobody will have the power today to say, okay, let's unplug everything. We were in the wrong direction and we don't want the Terminator. Of course, we don't want it, but we can't stop this machine. And I think the best is to think how we can use it to harness responsibility and not just to have a more new technological tool or new technological slave. Picture a global platform, for example, where under the UN patronage, where you can integrate all those, technology and all those definition of truth and start to have some synthesis from Eastern or Western point of view, what would be the best decision. And I think we lack for facilitation. This world today lack for facilitation. We're becoming more and more binary, and we need people in the middle that can bring option. I heard yesterday that we have to create space for new options. And that's exactly what the AI is doing. It's here to create options, not based on what he like, what he don't like. Does he had a problem with her mother, or at the school he was cheated by the other? Just pragmatic options to put on the table where the people, for example, we spoke about how a Palestinian and Israeli can meet in a non-partisan environment, and this is exactly what the AI is doing. Not tomorrow, what it's doing right now. It's here to give you options. And beyond politics, we already have a path forward. I mean, it's not like, it's going to happen maybe in the next 10 years, there will be young entrepreneurs that come and that will change everything, or maybe Elon Musk will buy the world. It won't happen like that. There won't be a big day or a big night. There will be small steps, and they are already small steps. If you're taking in consideration small countries like Estonia, for example, in Europe, they're already implementing chatbots to create relationship between citizen and the government. So what you have to think is, step by step, we will build the frame, and we will build the relationship, and we will build the governance we want with this technology. And of course, Roma wasn't built in a day, so there are many things you can start with, like advisory, as I told you. I'm sure we should be very surprised in a peace process to start to think about, what the option an AI can bring to the table. And of course, in a less extreme situation, in your company, in your daily, you can already start to play with this advisory role. The ethical guidelines, of course, we need to establish a constitution, but we are not alone. We can start to work those guidelines with the AI. Think about it. it's not a machine, it's a mirror from your brain. So if you're starting to consider it like, something that can extend your capacity, you can start to ask the question, what would be the best ethical guideline to foster a good relationship between human and machine in the next 1,000 years? And you can start to ask it to ChatGPT, for example. I think you'll be very surprised about the answers. And of course, the public engagement will start. Of course, we are the first representative. We are the first. I really believe in the leadership status. Like, you can't say to people, use the AI, and if you're not understanding and using it yourself. So we need a public engagement that's based on practice. So all the institutions should start to integrate this as a learning and as something in the scope of any discussion. I'll give you an example. I was having this talk with Mark, saying from all those great videos and all those great speech that will follow up in a YouTube video platform, we can transcribe, we can synthesize, and we can start also to provide business intelligence on everything that has been told during these 3 days, thinking like maybe there's several countries that should follow up to create something new. And this is what the AI can do for us. So I think on the public engagement also should be on all manifestation to have a place for the AI. Not like, hey, we have a robot on the stage, but hey, we are cited by AI, and the events are also supported by the AI to make the content not only live on a YouTube platform, but be translated and be multiplicated and be shared to the world. And at the end, the international collaboration, we should start to have more and more of the discussion. I have incredible talk yesterday and the day before for the dinner, speaking about how this AI is impacting our role as politician, our leaders, as CEO. And to be honest, somewhere we almost already to start work differently and start to play with the AI much more than I thought at the beginning. And the purpose, I think that also something we are really missing in this world. We are too much distracted by wars, by climate changes solving, and we're not anymore focus on our purpose as a humanity. So I think that's something we can think in the near future. Embracing this collaborative future with the AI is also starting to delegate the daily of our civilization to machine. And think about it. Do you think it's not already the case when you're on a plane? Do you think there's still a pilot in the plane? You have algorithm that managing 80% of the landing, not the takeoff, but landings. And, like 95% of your time in a plane, your life is managed by an algorithm. So that's already the case. We just now to bring purpose, to bring ethical, and to bring things that is not a secret source from industries, but that's something that starts to be used for the benefit of the mankind. And we can spend life building it, or we can spend our life to nurturing with love and compassion, dream and emotion. That's what the machine will never do for us. And if, think about it, we are released from work, war, pandemics in the near 100 years. So, of course, we have a lot of time to make things, but we'll have a lot of time to have fun. We have a lot of time to care the other. We have a lot of time to live a world that is very different. And it's time to explore the future, not only us, the human, but starting to collaborate. And I think the collaboration is what the purpose of the Berlin Economic Forum is: create bridge, create collaboration. And I think we should build a new bridge for the future of human being with the technology, with the robots. They're not here to kill us. They're maybe here to bring us to the next stage of our human civilization. Thank you.